And we are live. Good evening, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto episode 454. Today is Tuesday, August 20th, and I'm King, here to bridge the gap between community and crypto. Of course, here daily, Monday through Friday at 3-ish. And today's top stories, we'll be talking about Bitcoin Twitter's handle with 1 million followers renouncing their Bitcoin Cash affiliation. The SEC settles with ICO service over undisclosed payments for positive reviews. Winklevoss twins say they're in talks about joining Libra Association. China is racing to launch a digital currency ahead of Libra. Binance reveals Venus, its own project to rival Libra. And the European Commission concerned about Libra's potential monopoly. So as I put in the title, Libra versus the world. Square Crypto hires Blockstream's co-founder, open source Bitcoin dev. And Silvergate Bank plans to offer cryptocurrency collateralized loans and more. But first, a couple of quick shout outs. See some people coming in. What's going on, Canadian? What's up? And thanks to whoever just subscribed before the last one ended. Again, I was gone yesterday. Might be in and out this week, but of course, I'm keep bringing that good Bitcoin, blockchain, and crypto news. And of course, for the prices of the day, not a lot of price movement. Today we're at 10,800. It's up 0.67% on the day. Ethereum is at $197, down 1.31%. Litecoin is at $71, down 0.48%. XRP is down to 27 cents at down 2.2%, and Bitcoin Cash is at $317, down 2.4%. And actually, that's pretty good for Bitcoin Cash considering the news that's coming out today about the Bitcoin Twitter account, which we're about to jump straight into. Alec G, what's going on? Alec G is one of our in-house moderators, still holding down. What's going on, Alfred Robbins? I hit him up on Twitter, man. Send the search team. All right, top story of the day. Bitcoin Twitter handle with 1 million followers renounces Bitcoin Cash. Now, if you're not on crypto Twitter and in the know, I'll let you know that Bitcoin's Twitter handle at Bitcoin is one of the biggest and, of course, most sought after Twitter handles for the industry that we are in. And it looks like its best known names, Bitcoin's best known names, as this article is saying, those other folks in the crypto Twitterverse are playing a guessing game after one of the industry's most controversial accounts changes views overnight. At Bitcoin switched from Bitcoin.com to Bitcoin.org. And for those who don't know, Bitcoin.com, which Roger Ver owned, was also part of his pet project Bcash, Bitcoin Cash, which he basically tried to trick everyone back in 2017 to believe that was the real Bitcoin and to have you start to buy that in mass instead of the regular Bitcoin. Of course, it was a coin which he owned a lot of, as well as Craig Wright and Jahan Wu at the time when they all decided to launch it together. Now, he also either owned or has some type of affiliation with the @Bitcoin account, which of course supported the original Bitcoin since its inception. But once Roger Ver switched Bitcoin.com over to Bitcoin Cash related stuff, as well as everything else he was doing at the time to Bitcoin Cash, somehow the account at Bitcoin also switched over to Bitcoin Cash as far as sending people toward Bitcoin Cash payments and all that good stuff, as well as the Bitcoin.com website address where they can use it. Well, as of recent, it has switched back to Bitcoin.org, which is the actual site for regular Bitcoin that the industry wants people to kind of funnel to. So it looks like everybody has, of course, been asking Roger Ver about it. He's been denying any involvement with the account last year, as well as this year. He's saying he doesn't know what's going on. He's saying that he knows the real owner. And as he also said, he's less interested in his fate. According to his response to a call for help on a subreddit, he was quoted as saying, "Don't know," when asked if there's anything he could do to make Bitcoin change course to favor Bcash again. Oh my goodness. This is like, it's so much juiciness. I mean, you got to remember, people, this has been a 10-year movie now. And things like this has been an ongoing thing from 2017, as I just told you, with the Twitter account for Bitcoin. Of course, it was pointing people to Bitcoin, then switch it over to Bcash. Many things. First of all, he's not talking about it right now, or he didn't talk about it in the past, and he's not claiming ownership, because whether he owned it or not, or whether someone else owned it, whether he bought and sold it, I assure you, I mean, we're talking about at Bitcoin, the Twitter account. Again, for our industry, that is boom. I mean, that's where it's at, right? To own that account, you're talking about in the future, moving forward, that Twitter continues to do what it's doing already, and Bitcoin continues to do what it's doing. That will be a very valuable Twitter account name. It's already valuable. I can see people paying easy $3 to $5 million for that thing, buy it, and push something out there to have everybody, for marketing, to have everybody go to their website. But my point is a couple things. So whether he was whether he owned it or not, or sold it, or knew the owner, whatever, with the type of press this will get and the type of money involved, he definitely did not. There's definitely an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement in place. He definitely can't talk about it, nor the other party, I'm assuming. And that's more than likely the reason why he's just like feigning ignorance or not saying anything at all. Like, back in the day, he didn't say anything. Even now, he's like, I don't know who owns it. It don't got nothing to do with me. I don't know the fate of it. I'm done. That means he signed an NDA. He made his money. Someone else made their money. They signed that contract. Don't talk about this no more. It's no one's business. So that's the first thing I want to get out the way. He does know. He's not. I mean, Roger Ver is, he's done very well for himself. All of a sudden, he's not just ignorant on a random Tuesday afternoon. Second thing I want to put was also important to point out are these people who are asking him what's wrong. Can you please turn it back to Bcash? These are all his puppets that followed him into the darkness, that followed him off the cliff. We tried to warn some of them. Other YouTubers did. Other Twitter people try to warn people like this. Everyone wanted to say something back in 2017. Again, just to give you a quick history of what happened. There was the Bitcoin hard fork that was going to happen with Jeff Garzlick in the New York agreement in the hotel in New York where he had all the businesses like Gemini and Coinbase and Brian Arm. He had all those big crypto businesses and the JP Morgans and all the regulators all in the hotel room. Vinny Lingram, I don't want to forget about you from Civic Key, even though you tried to say, hey, guys, I didn't even know what the meeting was about. I just pulled up. He had all these people from the corporate side of Bitcoin in a room to basically hard fork Bitcoin to turn it into their very own corporate centralized cryptocurrency, which they controlled as well as banks and government. When that didn't work, and by the way, not only did it not work, people said it would not work because of consensus, and they canceled their hard fork 24 hours before it happened, even illuminating at a shinier rate, I guess, in a shinier way of why it wasn't to be trusted in the first time, because you could literally stop a cryptocurrency project within 24 hours of launching it, though you claimed it was going to be decentralized. So that was just Jeff Garzlick and all these guys. That happened. They shut down that project. 24 hours later, by the way, after they shut down that project, Jeff Garzlick came back out with a new ICO. The same guy who tried to hard fork Bitcoin came back out with a new ICO saying this ICO will prevent any future hard forks that don't have consensus. It was like, dude, you're the one who started the hard fork. Now you're trying to push ICO all within 2 days. But about 2 to 3 weeks later, Roger Ver came up and about. He was a part of this project as well, but he came up and was like, all right, you guys want to hard fork Bitcoin. You know what you're doing. Myself, Craig Wright, and Jahan will do it ourselves. And that's when they forked off Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash. And from there, of course, we got Bitcoin Diamond, Platinum, and all these other things that forked off from that, or Bitcoin ABCD. I don't know what else they have. But that was Roger Ver's baby, Bcash. And we told everyone at the time, it's taking away market share from Bitcoin. It is a dead project. It doesn't have any real developers working on it. That was the crazy thing. They didn't even have real developers working on it, or a lot of developers. They had a couple. I won't say any. But it was just one of those things that was like, we don't even see how this thing can live. And yet people went after it. And now that he's abandoned at Bitcoin and Bitcoin.com and Bcash for this, whether he was a part of it or not, it looks as though from the Twitter side of things, he's just abandoning it and not saying anything. Again, I think it's because of the NDA. Now you have people writing to him saying, hey, like, wait, what are you doing? Like, we need to get Bcash back pumping again. With all that being said, again, it's kind of like the BitConnect thing where there are still some diehard hodlers who just don't want to believe they've been got or they've been scammed. So they're people aren't selling. But again, that's another $315 that should be back into the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's over 11K today. Is the way I look at it. So it's crazy to see that. Again, it's more people on social media talking about it. So clearly it's been sold at least once before. They're just trying to make the account more valuable. They're either responsible for leading the account to Bcashers, or they are borrowing the account now. I'm keeping them blocked. The account for information resource bitcoinonly.com concluded on Tuesday. Again, that's actually a good thing too. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Whoever actually owns at Bitcoin's Twitter account is probably a better thing not to sell it. Lease it. That the same 3 to 5 million I just spoke of. yeah, you can have that for 2.5 years. And after that, hey, contracts renew. You might come back to the table. We'll talk more, but that's actually a way better idea. That would be interesting to see if Bitcoin at the Bitcoin account was leased, because again, when you talk about new people in the industry, that is one of the first places they're going to go. They're going to go there first. So very interesting to see. And with this story, it actually kind of hits on this second story I'm about to talk of. What type of day would it be if we didn't mention the alphabet agency in the United States, right? The SEC settles with ICO service over undisclosed payments for positive reviews. Again, the SEC, they've basically done another extortion case, they're extorting another company, and this time they're extorting an ICO service over undisclosed payments for positive reviews. And I mean, look, I'm not the feds, I'm not trying to point any fingers, but I am going to talk about this good crypto news. The last story I just covered, at Bitcoin accounts, is pushing people toward Bcash one day, then pushing people toward Bitcoin.com one day. Are there any undisclosed payments going on behind the scenes that may lead people to positive reviews that I don't know about coming from this? Because to me, it seems like it's the same thing. Real quick, some quick shout outs before we continue. What is going on? Shinobi One, Madam Crypto, Jamal J said had dinner with Tone Vase randomly last night. Nice. Was it like a big dinner? Was it personal? What happened? Tony Nolly, what's going on? Sergeant Crypto. I replied back to you on the Discord as well. So you should, you had the right website and everything. But yeah, so as I said, the Securities and Exchange Commission has fined Russia-based analytics firm ICO Rating for failure to disclose payments for positive reviews to various projects. Today, the SEC announced a $268,998 settlement with ICO Rating for projects rated from December of 2017 through July of 2018. According to the SEC, projects rated by ICO Rating during that time raised funds through particular initial coin offerings, which the SEC classifies as securities. As such, proper disclosures should have been made to potential investors. This is corruption and extortion. I mean, are you kidding me? You got fined $270,000 for offering ratings to a market, an industry where the money's not real. Nothing's real. You remember, this is 2017, 2018. The government just got their head around, hey, let's try to tax this thing and let's try to fine people. You remember, they didn't even know what this was, because if the government knew what it was, the ICO craze of 2017 would have never happened. That's where the government cannot feign ignorance at, or they should. If the government knew what they were doing, all the ICOs, 100 million here, 150 million here, 210 million here, 88 million, 13 million, 2 million. None of those would have happened if the government knew it was up already. So to be very clear, and we said this all throughout 2017, the government had no idea what was going on. They didn't have a meeting about what was going on until January 2018, after Martin Luther King Day, when everybody came back from holiday. So for them to go back and to extort someone or a group or a company, even though, again, I don't agree with the ICO rating stuff. We tell people all the time, it's some sophisticated scams in the area. You need to do your own due diligence. Don't believe a rating or what we say. Check it out. But that doesn't give the government a right to fine someone $270,000 because they were giving fake ratings on fake money at a time where there was no regulation or guidance to even go on. Again, I mean, if that's the case, and I love seeing this, like, how far back in history are we going to go? I mean, there's some people I would love to find that was a part of a large organization in the United States back, I think, from the 30s to like 60s that just suddenly disappeared off the map. I would love to find a lot of those men and women and charge them with crimes or fines, but you can't do it like that, right? So again, this is crazy to see. And I'm not saying ICO rating was in the right, but for the SEC to come down $270,000 for essentially 7 or 8 months of fake ratings to fake money. Because you remember, Bitcoin and crypto isn't real to them at this time. However, how many banks, companies, etc., do we see get away with craziness or get minimal fines and do much less? So again, this is crazy to see. Slippery slope, as we say. You let the government in the door, and this is what they're doing. I mean, every day I come on now, we're talking about a new CEO or organization for 2017 the government is targeting. They did not give out guidance in 2017 because they did not know what was going on. And they did not know what was going on because they thought and truly believed cryptocurrency was not here to stay. It would die. It was fake money. And nothing was real about it. Now they're going back to extort people who made money during that time frame. Again, this is crazy. And again, they're talking about these security laws, which require promoters, entities, disclose comments. We get your fake laws that you made up on Tuesdays. But again, these laws were never applied to ICOs. In 2017, ICOs had not been deemed securities. And even right now, there are still people going back and forth. And the even bigger issue with all this is that who put the United States in charge of this? The SEC is not in charge. This is hopefully this is an actual Russian citizen who's going to piss on this piece of paper and throw it out. But slippery slope. One day the SEC gets to say, what if you have a company here in the United States for cryptocurrency, and through a VPN or something, someone in Russia uses your company, or just through regular channels, they use your company, and then the Russian version of the SEC says, well, some of our citizens use it, you owe us $270,000. Oh, UK stepped in, London, Britain, Great Britain, yeah, we see some of our people who live here use it, you owe us money too. Oh, some place in South Africa, it's snowball effect. So again, this is crazy to see. I wholeheartedly disagree with it, and this is what happens. Everyone wants more government, more government, more government, and then this gang, you owe $270,000 for something you did 2 years ago, which, by the way, unethical, not illegal at the time. So it's definitely something you want to pay attention to, people. Fool with money, what's going on? Jamal Jay's talking about Tone Bay, said just ended up sitting next to him in a tight Japanese restaurant in Soho and hollered at him, chatted a bit, exchanged info. I bet he was extremely nervous. He's like, wait, you Tone Bay, he's a crypto guy, right? Hey, you should have messed with him a little bit. Been like, man, I done lost a lot of money on you. No, I'm just kidding. What's going on? Try CHNYC 123. Sergeant Crypto says, sounds like a case of I wish I just thought of that first. Speaking about the SEC, they're just mad that they weren't getting paid. What's going on, Malik? How are you doing? All right, so the next few stories. All these stories have one thing in common. That's Libra, in which that is why I titled it Libra versus the world. I'm literally just going to go through these stories very quickly, just kind of hitting the main points on them. You get the general idea. Again, they're all very similar. But with Libra versus the world, the first thing I want to talk about is the Winklevoss twins. I mean, listen. At this point, I truly think Mark Zuckerberg did not steal Facebook. And in fact, the Winklevoss twins were lying. That is what I'm alleged. That is what I'm believing. And the reason why is because the Winklevoss twins are back in the news. And we kind of glossed over this before when we started the article, but this is like the second one, third time's the trend. So I'm paying a little bit more attention to it. The Winklevoss twins say they're in talks about joining Libra Association. If they were to join Libra Association, from a business standpoint, I understand and I get it. Again, Libra has a huge, Facebook has a huge market share. Anything involving crypto, listen, they're interested, let's bring them on board. It'll be the same thing as Jeff Bezos. Honestly, it'd be the same thing if JP Morgan actually wanted to play fair with the other kids in the playground. I guarantee you, all these people who scream whatever foul of JP Morgan in the crypto space, a lot of them will actually team up or go work for them and all that other stuff, right? And it looks like Winklevoss twins are doing it with Facebook and Libra. I get it from the perspective of business, but from the personal standpoint in the history, I don't get it. I mean, how much weaker do you two need to look? And you expect me to keep my crypto on your exchange, or to keep my crypto in whatever lockbox you have for it, or way to preserve it or reserve? Come on. I can't even trust you two to protect yourself, and you think I'm going to trust you to protect my money? I mean, these are the same guys who claim that Mark Zuckerberg stole their first idea, went to war with him, made money, went to another industry, made money, did all right, but instead of being true creators and true innovators, something that Mark Zuckerberg has shown us he's done many times now, which is why I'm thinking these guys were the liars. Instead of being innovators and creators, they're going back to the person who smacked them around 10 years ago. We joke about this all the time, but I mean, it's two of you. I hear you're pretty big, and there's one, and there's one small guy with a laptop that is literally. You guys should have started working for him 10 years ago. You've been doing it since then. Again, at this point, I think Mark Zuckerberg was not lying about Facebook clearly, as he has shown us not once but twice now in his short time as a professional. He can do altering things. Like, he is not scared to take on the status quo. That's the biggest difference. The Gemini twins are working with the status quo on Wall Street right now. Okay, regulators, come in. You can do this. You can do that. You can do this. Now they're doing it and we can't control them. Mark Zuckerberg is saying, and he's been saying since he came out, if you remember his first business cards, like F you call me or something, where he was walking around in pajama pants and a hoodie on, coming to meetings late with flip-flops on, and executives had no choice but to take his meetings because it was Facebook, right? The same thing is happening all over again. All these banks, all these world governments have no choice to listen to Mark Zuckerberg because it's about to be Libra coin. And it looks like the Gemini twins are joining too. Very weak move on their part. I actually hope they do join and Mark Zuckerberg treats them like the red-headed stepchilds that they are. But other than that, that's all for these guys. I mean, again, this is very interesting to see this change of events. It makes me think they were lying from the beginning and not Mark Zuckerberg, though. So we'll see. Let's see. Oh, Jamal J was talking about Tone Bays again. He said he had a huge guy apparently bodyguarding him, but he did answer shakily, though. It's funny. Sergeant Crypto said the Winklevoss twins equals Mitches. Look, they're super weak, man. I mean, you let Mark Zuckerberg is just having you all come out of your pockets. For those who don't know what that means, when someone literally walks up to you physically and runs your pockets, he has you turn them inside out, and he makes sure he keeps, or she keeps, some girls out here running pockets too. They keep what's ever in your pockets. The people who are best at doing this turns out to be the SEC, the IRS, and now Mark Zuckerberg as well. All right, again, with Libra, China is in the news. China is racing to launch a digital currency ahead of Facebook Libra. Blah, blah, blah. China's been talking about that forever. Of course you are. Binance is in the news. Binance is planning to launch Venus, its own project to rival Facebook Libras. And last but not least, the European Commission is concerned about Libra's potential monopoly. Wow. I mean, the European Commission, this is what I read when I saw this headline. Someone from the United States called up someone in Europe and said, hey, if we were to say this, Mark Zuckerberg is going to make this whole thing about the government versus private citizens. We need you all to do this one for us. European Commission picked up the slack. They're doing it. I mean, you want to talk about potential monopoly. Everything's backed on the dollar. Like, what are you talking about? Oil is backed by a United States dollar. There was just a big fuss a year or two ago, or about a year and some change now, when China moved to their yuan, the petro yuan, instead of the USD base backing as it has been. So you're talking about a potential monopoly when right now the monopoly is already the United States dollar, which honestly I wouldn't have a problem with if it was the United States dollar, but it's not. It's the Federal Reserve dollar, which is a private company owned by a small group of people. So there's already been a monopoly on money. European Commission, again, weak sauce, weak argument, corruption at its finest. What more do you need to hear? And just the fact that you have China coming out now on the same day, Europeans coming out, European Commission, Binance, I know came out yesterday. I missed that story. But now everyone wants to come out against Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. No, he had a great idea. He's leading the way. But hey, this is why it's very important to have private entities like Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, because it's competition. Could you imagine if the government did this? It wouldn't be any really competition, or the government just said it's the Federal Reserve and you're not allowed to have Federal Reserve in any of your business names and you can't do any of this, only them can, because we have a military and police force. But no, now you have a private citizen who's following the laws which you've established, and just because he's beating you at your own game, now you're like, all right, we need the entire planet to turn against this guy and everything he represents. Again, to piggyback this story, all this hate from Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, it didn't come from that whole privacy thing and him releasing your data. Every company on the internet does that. That's why they just now started doing that EULA agreement, terms of use, end user agreements, where every time you go to a website, it pops up, do you accept these terms of use? That all started with Mark Zuckerberg. But the only reason he received any of that pressure to begin with is because he said he was thinking about running for president. People forget that. About a year and a half ago, he said he was thinking about running for president in 2020. And literally since the day he said that, these other texts has been coming at him. I was on the fence, but it's official. I'm a fan right now of Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and what they're doing. I'm not saying, and I see you, Cryptonomics. Cryptonomics said Libra is too centralized to survive in crypto land. The IMF has actually already stated digital currency is the solution to negative interest rates. Crypto is here to stay. I am with you. I am not saying Libra is the move. Again, I'm about Bitcoin, right? I like Bitcoin. I like some of the other cryptos out there. But what I am saying is that the pressure that the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency industry as a whole was receiving from the likes of SEC or IRS or this company or that company or this manipulator or this country are now being offset to Mark Zuckerberg because they finally have their picture on the wall. We have an enemy. We can go after this one guy. We can go after this company and take them down. So that's my thing. I'm happy just to see it because it's causing competition. It's causing other companies to step their game up. It's causing other cryptos to step their game up. It's causing everybody to step their game up. And again, it's just going to make everything better for those end users at the end of the day, is my personal opinion. Full of Money said, if Libra launches, would you invest in Facebook stock? In Facebook stock, I personally would not, because I'm all about investing in crypto, more or less traditional. But yes, I would. Just asking an in general question, I would invest in it because, am I saying it wrong? Zuckerberg, you guys know I'm terrible with this. But in general, yes, he has the market share. Again, it doesn't even have to be, we're looking at the runway. It doesn't have to be Libra, people. Let's say Mark Zuckerberg is launching a new brand of cornflakes, okay? I don't care what it is. He's launching a new brand of pieces of paper. It does not matter what he launches. He has a big enough market. I think they said it was like 2 billion or something. He has a percentage of the world population. He has like what, off the top of my head, maybe 17% of the world's population on his platform. It doesn't matter what he launches. Yes, I would invest in it because whatever he launches, if he only receives a 3% return on interest, he would still make hundreds of millions of dollars from 3% of everyone they go to. So with all the analytics they have, with all the web bots and spiders, you telling me you don't have in a $1 billion company as well, multi-billion dollar company, they know how to market. They will reach that 3% number at a low end. So again, whether it's Libra or whatever else, I would invest in it because he just has the market share. I mean, it's literally down to market share with this guy, and he has it. Hero George said they're kissing the ring again. Of course, you know how it goes. Ray Mata said, anytime I hear politicians take a stance against anything, it just means that they want to get paid before giving their blessing. Of course. So long as the money does not run out, then Libra could be serious. Look, and that's what it's really about. It's really going to be about, does Mark Zuckerberg want to pay, and I'm not even exaggerating, 100, 200 different people, not just the United States, but globally. And when I say pay, I mean, do you want to give $500,000 here? Do you want to give a couple million here? Do you want to give $350K here? If he's willing to do that for 200 people around the world, probably 75 of them being in the United States, then I think that project could take off. And I don't think him doing that is below him or Facebook, nor should it be. It's a business. It's not up to them for a politician not to take money if they offer it. It's for the politician not to. And I think we all know which way that would go, not just here in the United States, but again, globally as well. You talk about the European Commission. Yeah, all right. Who's the, I didn't even look at it, but who's the head regulator there? If he wakes up tomorrow with the extra $10 million in Facebook stock before they launch Libra coin, which no one can trace or knows about, I wonder if he's not going to go for this all of a sudden, right? And that's all Mark Zuckerberg really has to do is give out stock, since we're talking about it. All right, last couple of quick stories I do have to run. Square Crypto hires Blockstream co-founder, open source Bitcoin dev. This is big news, people, because it hasn't happened often. Square Crypto, the cryptocurrency focused branch of mobile payment company Square, has hired Blockstream co-founder and Bitcoin developer Matt Corello. Square Crypto announced in a news official Twitter post on August 20th. Matt Corello says, so excited to be joining Square Crypto team over the coming weeks. Experimenting with different models to accelerate Bitcoin OSS is awesome. Key takeaways from this. First of all, I told you it was going to happen. The hiring of developers from private companies. I said when it happens, it is going to be crazy. I want to know how much you're paying this guy. He's the Blockstream co-founder and a Bitcoin developer. $350 easy. $250 to $350 minimum starting, and that's without bonuses. But at the end of the year, at least $250 to $350 easy. This is a big hire. I think we'll see more of this as we see bigger companies like Square. Again, once you see Bank of America really pull the lid off, once you see JP Morgan pull the lid off, it won't be these quiet hirings. They're gonna be like, yeah, he was the third person to work on the Bitcoin project. Oh yeah, he was the person who did this. Oh yeah, like these are the best people. And again, there's only a handful of them. So big hire by Square. We're talking about investing. If you do invest in the traditional market, you might want to look into Square, some of the ventures they're in, because you're not going to spend a lot of money and bring on someone from Blockstream and a Bitcoin developer if you don't have a big project or a big undertaking yourself, or at least hope to have one in the near future. So pretty cool to see that hire. Again, this is the thing that is going to help the industry in the next 5 to 7 years, when it's literally going to be a blockchain crypto hiring craze of just anybody who knows anything hiring them. I don't care. They can do support for $30 an hour on the phone, right? Just hire someone that knows it, right? Once that happens, it's going to be crazy. We'll see more of this, but I think this is a good direction. And last but not least, I want to give a shout out to Silvergate Bank. It's one of the things Jim and I did get right as they use them to bank. But Silvergate Bank plans to offer cryptocurrency collateralized loans. Again, there's only a couple people doing it right now, but I wanted to point them out because they are a crypto-friendly bank. They've been around. They're here, I think, in like close to San Diego, in between LA and San Diego, so they're not far. They've been about crypto for a very long time now. I've used them for crypto dealings in business. Again, Gemini twins use them. The Winklevoss twins use them, whatever. So they do a lot of stuff in crypto, and definitely wanted to highlight them because, you know, right now, Bitcoin loans aren't the business yet. It's still a very small market. But the bigger thing is banks are even scared to do this, right? Or they don't know how to do it. So Silvergate Bank is literally ahead of the curve when it comes to all things crypto. I hope they're rewarded for it in the long term, because so far they've been doing a pretty decent job. They have a good understanding of the market, the cryptocurrency market that is. Of course, they have an understanding of the traditional banking market. And I hope to see banks like this who adopted crypto early, who believed in it, who want to move forward and push adoption. I hope to see them overcome banks like JP Morgan and Bank of America. Like, how cool would that be? Whereas like the little guy everybody forgot about that's in between LA and San Diego decided to do crypto banking where everybody else shunned them. All of a sudden it hit a grand slam, not a home run, hit a grand. The home run was getting Gemini to sign on. Hit a grand slam with a plethora of other crypto products. And they're actually a bank you can trust because they've been in crypto. They were in crypto before it was cool. They were in crypto before the bull run of 2017, right? So again, shout out to Silvergate Bank for holding steady and you know, for following their plans in the crypto space and not being either fooled away or scared away by that tap on the shoulder. It's pretty cool to see that because again, not many people are doing it. All right. Other than that, that is the show for the day. As always, thanks for watching. Of course, I'll be back tomorrow around 3-ish with some more crypto news. But make sure you leave a comment. Let us know. What do you think about Libra, Facebook's Libra coin? What's going to happen with it? Our government's going to stop it. Will Binance's Venus take off? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. And the best thought, we'll make sure we get some free crypto coin too. As always, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Cheers.